Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, people. Well, Rumble's up and Twitter's down. So you tell me, we can't get out on Twitter tonight, guys, for some reason. So, yeah, I don't know.
Matilda TV.
Matilda TV, yeah, get over there, people. But anyway, people on Twitter aren't going to know that. Well, I'm not on Twitter. The fun and games, hey, guys. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be fun and games coming up, guys. And that is what we need to do, because we always win. As Caz says here, when we get together and we do something, we win. Okay, we've proven that in the past. But, you know, we've come this far, guys.
All right, it's up.
All right, Twitter's up. So I'm going to have to try and share out in a minute, guys. We've come this far, okay? And come December, this digital ID is a big thing, guys. Now, the crowd showed at one rally yesterday sort of how they feel. And that is that they're willing to come together. All right, the people are willing to come together. They just, as I said, we need a protest with purpose, guys. And if this digital ID gets in, you know, all our protests are gone. Everything's finished, okay, because they will just start and shut us down automatically. You know, a lot of us aren't even going to get on, all right, because we will not conform. So we've got to make this a pretty prominent thing in the near future, guys, this digital ID, and we need to be standing up against it. And how can we do that? Well, we can do that by all those good people who stood on yesterday for Australia. I think we need you at the Governor's, guys. And, yeah, 11th of the 11th at 11 a.m. Maybe a good time to do that. I've spoken to Frank about that, but maybe that's a good time to actually meet at the Governor's in New South Wales for the start of our hands down, guys, tools down. Because it needs to be done, guys, because this digital ID, and I know we've had a lot to fight against the immigration, or the migration, right? But they get the digital ID where they want to get it, and all of us people are not going to have any way of communicating. So this is a very, very big thing, okay? Very, very big thing. So I think we need to look at it, guys. I think we need to be talking about it in the upcoming future, okay? Because it's not far away. 2 months, guys. Not even that. What, 1.5 months, probably. 2 months. 2 months, I'd say. 7 weeks. So 7 weeks, and you could be gone. We could all be gone because we're not going to accept digital ID, or are you going to not draw your line in the sand? What are you going to do? Because this is crunch time, guys. It really is. We need to stand up and make a comment. Rumble's having a problem now. Anyway, we got Twitter up. Anyway, let's get no, we haven't got Twitter. No,
Twitter's not up.
Twitter.
Twitter's not up.
Matilda TV, guys.
Okay. All right, we got problems anyway. So anyway, this is what we need to do, guys, as far as I'm concerned anyway. All right, this is a very, very big issue. Okay, I know we've all been doing the right thing. We've been doing the petitions, this, that, and the other. Obviously, we've got together for certain reasons that are great reasons that I can see from reading the play yesterday in one of the particular rallies. The people are there to be united. We just need some purpose, guys. Protest with purpose. And the purpose is the government needs to do their job. Okay, they've done it before. Even though they've done it, through their own courses, they need to do it again. All right. So let's get this thing rocking, because we've had a little bit of mischief down at the governor's today, at Monday at Maggie's, and it wasn't mischief from our people. I'll bring Frank in and Caz, and Frank can tell you who's the mischief party and what's going on, guys. And then we can have a bit of a chat about how the police look to be on our side, guys. This is all a suck in too. All right. They're now talking about, I know this, that, and the other. The march from Australia was, they didn't do anything. Okay, they didn't. And we aren't the sort of people that are going to do that. Okay. But they will use that now to get more draconian laws passed and do more of their bullshit. We know that for a fact. So, all right, let's get the guys in, or guys and gals, Caz and Frank.
All right, guys. I've just tweeted out Matilda TV's link. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. We're having issues here.
Yeah, well, Twitter's usually pretty reliable, actually, or X, whatever you want to call it. But obviously, my account's not being accepted today. Anyway, Frank, how'd you go today, mate? Tell the people that I believe, mate, right over the target, mate. We're pushing on the button that they don't really want to be pushed, because this lady, although she has no authority, actually has authority within their fake organisation or corporation, whatever you like to call it, to actually pull the strings and make the deed be done, which is get rid of the Prime Minister. So, Frank, what happened today?
Well, as we know, she holds that key, Dave. I mean, she's the highest figure of New South Wales. I mean, she was a high Supreme Court judge, so she's pretty heavily connected, right? But her job description is, if people are disgruntled with their government, then she has to act accordingly, right? As a governor should be, So anyway, we rocked up as usual to our Mondays at Maggie's. And for those who don't know, her name's Margaret Beasley, so we've nicknamed her Maggie. And now the trustees have issued their letter saying they don't want us there because I think we're becoming a little bit more provocative. Well, I guess the truth hurts sometimes, and so people are getting their knickers in a knot because they don't want to hear the truth, and that's what we've been is calling out as the truth. Now, we were actually accompanied by the boys in blue with Inspector Patterson, who decided to make up rules as he went along, right? He had no bearing. I mean, I don't even think he read the letter. But anyway, someone had sent him down to do his job, and that's what happens. Everyone gets sent down by somebody else, by somebody else, by somebody else, right? So we were actually almost, say, I guess in a kind of a way it was threatening, say, well, come on, come into these gates and see what happens. Really? Is this the draconian country that we've become? Right? Come into these gates and you'll see what happens. Actually, I'm surrounded by a lot of nanas there, Dave, a lot of nanas and, middle-aged women who care strongly about their families and their kids and everybody else. And we got Inspector Patterson being a complete knob and a complete smartass telling us, come on in and see what happens. Really.
Taunting you.
Yeah. So, I thought wisdom overshone that morning, or this morning. And I thought, no, we're fine, you know, but we certainly gave him a bit of a serve up, you know, to find out what was going on. Look, the reality is he couldn't answer a lot of it. He was basically saying, well, the trustees have said this. I'm doing my bit. Here you go. Big Daddy's come along and said, no, you're not going in there. And if you do, look out and see what happens, right? So it looks like Margaret Beasley isn't happy right now, you know, because... You know, all the trustees, because all of a sudden, you know, they're not feeling well, Dave. I've seen them walk around, mate. They're not looking too crash hot. Actually, most of those coppers aren't looking too crash hot at the moment, you know.
Well, they've got to be thinking about where they are and what they're doing, because they're certainly not representing the people, Frank. And again, here's a perfect example of and guys, if this doesn't show you, all right, that the governors is actually the place to take our multitude of people. Okay. And, you know, we're going to play their game, guys. So a picnic day sounds really good, Frank. What do you reckon? You know, you bring the jam. I'd love to see some people bring some jam scones and you know, a bit of cream in the esky. Oh, that'd make my day. You know what I mean? But I think we could, we could just have a picnic day. Like no cooking, nothing like that. You bring your sangers or you bring whatever, your cakes, and we sit down and we have a thermos of coffee and, you know, we have a good Australian rap, mate. We bring a footy ball or something, you know what I mean? And we have a game or a soccer ball and have a picnic. Because, you know, they can't say anything like that.
No, and the funny thing is, you know, Inspector Patterson actually said, you know, enjoy the day and get out in the sun. Well, I thought, well, what a great idea. You know, we can get out there and have our, you know, cucumber sandwiches and some refreshments and sort of play a bit of a game on the lawn. You know, be there in presence, you know what I mean? And if we want to go for a walk around the place, we can. You know, I mean, let's face it, let's enjoy the gardens thing. We pay for them. I actually did say to the boys in blue, I said, well, don't we pay for those blokes that are mowing those lawns? And I said, well, if this is Crown land or supposed Crown land, as you're saying that it is, well, Maggie should get out in the gumboots and mow her own fucking lawn as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so there you go, Maggie. Get your gumboots out and start mowing your own lawns, you know?
Well, I think it's a picnic at the Governor's, just like Cheryl Pikes agreed and a fair few other people are agreeing in here because, guys, like, I'm going to push it again. Like, listen to me. Protest with purpose, right? We need to be doing something with some purpose. And obviously, Frank and that over the last 12 to 13, 14 months have shown that these people do not want this to continue going on. All right. And now that Canberra's sort of stood down and look, you know, congratulations to the people that have been there for that long, guys. Mammoth effort. I love every one of you. All right. But they might be now wanting, we'll have to see what's happening in Western Australia because they stand over there pretty hard too, Frank. We'll have to see what's going on because maybe they're just going to try and push everyone away from the Governor General, thinking that, you know, they got a wedge in the door. Now the Canberra people have stood down. We'll be able to get the rest of them with a bit of fear porn, you know. But that won't happen here in New South Wales, guys. But what we need is numbers. So I want you to think about it, okay? And we're going to have to get some stuff out, all right, and get some posters going and get it happening. We can do this, guys, and we've come a long way. You know, we can make this, you know, all talk about this digital ID and what we can do, you know, to actually, stop this. Wake up, Maggie.
I mean, just one other thing, Dave. I mean, that's the thing, you know, we've clocked up a lot of miles and walked a lot of paces, you know, standing for some sort of liberty in our nation right now. But they've done everything in the meantime to try and avoid anything to happen at the gates. So it's obvious to me that the gates is very significant and they don't want us there because then guess what? As a governor, she must act. And if she doesn't act, then the pressure's back on her. So anyway, maybe a picnic. We'll do it differently.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so way to start the 11th to the 11th. Go, Caz.
Yeah, well, look, I was just going to start some news because we've got some stuff that ties in there. First of all, we've got Dave. He confronted the ABC, and she was real happy about it.
No, she wasn't.
Australia just got bronze.
And Adelaide obviously the capital of the US will have they close it here. It's going to be very similar, I reckon. 34 cities awards.
Yeah, I've got to record it.
To survive.
I'm good.
The lead has opened up on the first.
You guys seem to be able to chase everyone around for an
In Team USA number 1, who powers through.
You know, I'd like to ask you about the freedom of information.
I'm genuinely,
Hang on, that was put on the
I clock
ABC.
off at 3 p.m. Happy to chat to you then. I've just got to do live crosses. We're trying to cover this event.
Okay, that's
We're not
You know, we've had some freedom of information stuff released 1975 tapes about the ABC and pedophilia, and I'd like to know if the ABC actually knows about that, what they're doing about that.
not me, but you probably want to talk to
Making his way
our
through.
bosses. I'm just a
Now,
reporter.
Japan in Spain after them. It's Iuna from Japan and the Spanish team.
Well done,
I'm real
Dave.
happy about it.
Yeah,
No.
look, yeah, we were waiting there a while. She knew I was wanting her, you know what I mean, and she wasn't gonna have it. I'll meet you at 3 o'clock. Yeah, sure, I'd still be waiting, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But you know, and she doesn't know anything about it. She's a journalist for the ABC, but she knows nothing about these tapes that are splattered all over the internet everywhere. You know what I mean? No, nothing about it. No. All the
Yeah,
bullshit
well.
that's gone on the last 50 years, but no, I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
No, amazing.
Mm. Now this actually has gone viral, and well, it should. Have a look at this.
To the sellers, third time, no late bid will take, all done, finished and silent. We're going to sell it away. 956, selling, sir. $500.
No, where's the white people?
There
Like-
wasn't one Aussie there.
You know,
Yeah,
and
sure.
look, Celine has put this out because one of the families was an Afghanistan family, and she's questioned. She said 85% live on less than $1 a day. Just bought $1.3 million home in Guildford. How does the person who emigrates from Afghanistan afford $1 million property in Western Sydney? And
I can tell you.
she's done the snapshot now. Well, it's very, very interesting, isn't it? Now we know that if they're Muslim, they don't pay usury.
Yeah.
Which is very, very interesting, because we're going to get onto that, because the Pope has actually come out against it, and that'll become very significant, and we'll cover that in a bit. But then Michael Gray Griffiths, he's had a whistleblower from the Treasury approach him, and this is what they told him.
Told me that the Treasury puts a money dollar value on every migrant. Let's say that for every migrant, the economy will be boosted by $1 million, say. That, you know, that's like, they're guessing. They're saying that's what it's going to be. We bring in this migrant and then by this certain time, 10 years from now, the economy will have prospered by $1 million because of that migrant. Now, of course, they're not all going to do that. Some are going to go in the dole. Others maybe going to start businesses. But anyway, that's what they've averaged it out to. Now, that's one. Now, you think of the amount that are coming in, you know, thousands and thousands constantly. So that's a lot of money they're expecting our economy will benefit from in the future. And here's the rub. She claims that our government has already allocated that money. They're taking for granted it's coming in, they've put it into the budget, and they've spent it. And that's why they can't stop it.
And if you think this money laundering only goes on in these sorts of things, guys, have a think about it again. And I don't know whether Caz has seen the clip, but I have sent us something from one of our political parties. We'll get to it if it's not tonight, guys. We'll bring it on, because I think it needs to be known that these people that we are supposedly dealing on our behalf do not have the same standards and character when the doors are fucking shut, all right, as what they may have when the fucking cameras are on and they're in front of some pitch. Okay, yeah. And they're being busted again internally. Okay, I'm not going to name it yet because I don't know where Kazza is up to it, and she's our producer, okay? But I can tell you this party is out there now gathering a lot of momentum, yet, sorry, I'm going to call it out, guys, because I'm a big one for it. Character. You're money laundering.
Mm.
You know?
Well, now,
and you want our support. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
No,
well,
you're
tying
right, Dave.
into
You're right.
well, yeah. No, well, that's it. Now, speaking of that, now, do you guys remember when Dr. Lee Mannion was interviewed by Maria Zia several years ago? And she said, oh, no, she goes, this is before the election. She goes, no, I've been told that Labor will win. And there is a bloodline CCP person who is in Labor, and Labor will win. And no one suspects it because they came down through Malaysia. And her name is Penny Wong. Now, look at this, okay? Look at this. This is, so Penny Wong, Australia's foreign minister, has a brother, Huang Zhangping, who is leading a Chamber of Commerce network that directly interfaces with the CCP political and legal affairs, United Front and Trade Promotion Systems, and the Secretary General of the network is actually an official who has received CCP training and serves as the director of the China Overseas Friendship Association, political and legal affairs and United Front and business circles and family ties. Now, we've shown that there are Chinese people that are running real estate businesses in Chinese names, running real estate businesses, basically like selling to their own.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have like public notices out there for the Indians and the Chinese and that, right, in their own language on TikTok and that now, guys. You've seen them, okay? And they are actually telling these people how to actually get over here and what they can do about it, you know what I mean, and how it can be done. And it's just incredible, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The skullduggery that's going on out there, you know, yet, you know, an Aussie can't even, you know, get a pension or get help if they need it, yet these immigrants can come in and the next day or week, or probably the day, whenever they see Centrelink, they're signed up. They've got a back payment. They've got money in the bank, and they're off.
Yeah.
You try and do that as an Aussie, guys. Try. Go on, I dare you. You try it.
And they're getting education grants. They're getting housing grants. They're getting business grants. And as
someone
you
applied for a disability, Frank, and they got told that they'll reply to them mid-January, early February, and they just applied for it. Now, how come a migrant can walk in here and fucking 5 minutes later be signed up, you know what I mean, and up to $1 million grant? Yet this particular Aussie has got to wait till late January, maybe early February before he can even get to talk to these people. And you know, like, it's just insanity. Guys, if we don't need to come together right now, I don't know when we do, because this is just insane.
Dave, and all those young coppers that stopped me from entering those gates, that affects them.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're just young white boys with their blue uniform on, right? And they're going to get screwed over just like everybody else. Yet I'm the one trying to call it out. You know?
It's unreal.
Well, you know, and look, you can see Brisbane was just absolutely huge. This is just a time shot.
And Gaz Cam, if you were there.
Like, check this out. It was absolutely massive. Now, I checked this with various people that were live streaming from every angle. It was an absolute sea. It was so big that that's them trying to join the marches. Look at that.
Yeah.
Where was that, Caz?
That's Brisbane.
That was Brisbane.
That's Brisbane speeded up like, you know, thousands of times, but it was massive, and it was massive from absolutely every angle. And of course, then we had in Melbourne, we had this report from the police.
This is what was thrown at police today, and I think Melbourne has had a gutful. I look on the social media streaming platforms of some of these issue-motivated groups that are saying police used excessive force. The fact was, these were being thrown at police. Bottles filled with shards of glass were being thrown at the police. Rotten fruit was being thrown at police. Bins were put on fire. Flags were on fire. And I think, you know, really enough's enough. People came to pick a fight with the police. The people that came to pick the fight were police, were the issue-motivated groups on the left.
Now, he's identified the Antifa and that sort of stuff, and everyone's gone, yay, Antifa's basically been called out as being violent. Okay, I'm telling you now, this is going to be used for some sort of licensing thing. And all of our side on the right, you have got to not fall for this. Okay, they're going to, because you can look at, basically, Alan did address it, at least.
Today was a different pattern of behaviour to those examples. It was a very, very different set of people coming to the city with the view of engaging in violence quite clearly, which is why, as we saw from the police.
Now, that's with her doing that, what she's doing is she's going to angle in and she's going to go, oh, everybody needs a license to protest or something now. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, obviously we don't condone their violence and that sort of stuff. And but what they're looking at is they're just looking at the numbers and they're going, oh, okay, we'll get everybody on the left riled up and the numbers have swung around. And so they go, oh, okay, the right's got massive numbers now. We'll appease the right by blaming this kind of violence on the left so that they can, they're out to get both of us. This is what the lefties have got to understand is that they don't, they're after them too.
Well, it's
they're
the Masons.
after the Anglo-Saxon. Go, Frank.
It's the Masons, mate. Like at the end of the day, when you got a villain, we'll give you a hero. And when there's a hero, they give you a villain. It's the same bullshit over and over and over again, But they think we're stupid, mate. We know exactly what's going on,
I think the people are waking up to the psyops and the bullshit that's out there, Frank, because, the weekend, that was an indication, mate. So, it's good. Good on you people. You're getting your discernment, right? And you're working it out. You understand that we all want to come together, but we got to come together for a purpose.
Well, the thing about it is, too, is if you actually look at this now, this Wendy Lovell MP, she tabled this in Victoria, and police stations are only 30 to 50% staffed, and they're closing them on the weekends.
Yep.
So, and the reason why they're...
Got machete bins. You don't need police on weekends. Now you got machete bins.
I know. Now, interestingly, Scotty did a call out to Mr. T-Man, and Topher has actually put out a really good understanding of how T-Man approaches things. So let's have a look at Scotty first.
My name is Scott Challen, and I'm standing in front of thousands of Australians here. Let me hear you guys. Mr. President Trump, with all the heartfelt respect in the world as the greatest ally of the US, Australia, we think you're awesome, and we know you've done an amazing job to close your borders, make your country safe, and make America great again. We know that you're meeting with our Prime Minister, Mr. Albanese, on Tuesday the 20th. And we want you to please encourage Mr. Prime Minister Albanese to shut the gates.
Well, there was a part of the movie no one expected. Good on you, Scotty. Yeah, there's a call. That was a good part. Yeah, another good scene to the movie.
That was excellent. But the thing is, it's actually it's clever that he's done that. And Topher outlines why.
That's pretty much all we know, except that we also know that VP Vance has been very blunt in his criticism of the death of free speech in the UK, taking a personal interest in cases of religious freedom in the UK especially. And regular viewers of the Topher Project will remember that I've covered on numerous occasions now the evidence that I believe clearly shows that President Trump is using US economic clout and the threat of tariffs to whip anybody foolish enough to try and take away the rights of American citizens in any form. Which brings us squarely to Australia and the E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant and her under-16s social media ban, which will apply to American citizens. Originally, YouTube was going to be exempt I don't think originally many people realized that search engines such as Google and Bing were going to be included as well. But over time, the goalposts were shifted. Search engines were most certainly included, and importantly, the Albanese government, following the advice of the E-Safety Commissioner, that classic coward's excuse of, oh, we're just following the experts' advice, decided that YouTube would be included in this under-16s ban after all.
So, yeah, very interesting, isn't it? Did you want to say something on that before we close that segment? Because I've got the flyers to do.
Yeah, go, Frank.
No, I mean, I'm holding reservations, Dave, on that one. I just want to wait and see what happens. I mean, I would love nothing more than to get 2 thumbs up by, Donald Trump. But, let's hold reservations and let's see what happens. Yeah.
I don't think they'll even mention... I don't think anything like that will be even mentioned in that meeting. I think it'll be all strictly business, tariffs, bullshit. It won't be about freedom of speech unless Trump surprises me, and whacks one on him. But, the trouble is, don't believe anything when it first comes out, guys. All right, wait. All right, just wait because, there's too much bullshit coming out.
Yeah, it's changing all the time. The landscape's changing every moment, So, but as far as those 16-year-olds and the young kids, mums and dads have got to start speaking out. That's it.
Come to the Governor's for a picnic.
Yeah.
You can come and discuss it with us. Bring your favourite cake.
Cucumber sandwiches, man. Yeah.
Well, hang on, I shouldn't say that. I might get poisoned on the day. Look out. I won't be eating anything of anyone, all right? I'll be bringing my own, just like you will be.
All right. Let's have a look at the flyers. And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. And Stand in the Park, Albury, will be hosting a barbecue fundraiser to save tabletop from the Gambler Range Wind Farm. Barbecue will be held on Sunday the 2nd of November at 11 a.m, Australia Park, Albury. And there will be a Truther fundraiser on Saturday the 8th of November at 5 p.m. at Davison Town Progress Hall, 5 Macaulay Street, Davistown, opposite Ferry Wharf. The cost of entry will be $20. And the Converge on Canberra crew is holding a rally for Australia's future. They are standing against social media ban, digital ID, mass immigration, government overreach, Agenda 2030, net zero, and to withdraw from the WHO. The rally will be held in Canberra at 12 p.m. on Sunday, the 26th of October at Parliament House Lawns. And on Saturday, the 22nd of November, there is an Abolish Abortion conference. This will be featuring T. Russell Hunter. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance. And the Vax Bus is at it again with the Vaccine Injury Bus Tour. The dates will be 10th of November, Wollongong, 11th of November, Kiama, 12th of November, Nowra, 13th of November, Ulladulla, 14th of November, Narooma, 15th of November, Merimbula, 16th of November, Yass, 17th of November, Goulburn, and 18th of November, Bowral. And there is a court call-out for court support for Rocco versus the Tamworth Council on the 23rd of October for non-payment of rates at the James Madison Tower, Sydney. And there is a new campaign to take back the power of Australia by turning off your mains for 47 minutes from 5:47 p.m. to 6:34 p.m. on the 17th of October until the 6th of November. And there will be a mass non-compliance date against the digital ID starting on the 11th of November for 11 days. On the 11th day of the 11th month, cash only or pre-plan, no online purchases and no purchases. And every day there is a daily prayer space held on X. It's at 3 p.m. Melissa 14623
Plenty on, that's choice.
No.
Well, there is. And, you know, look, the thing is that it can be done. If you look at what Max Egan has done a breakdown of what happened in Thailand, which is fascinating.
I saw that.
Everything under one roof and you've got all your ID together in one place, it means you can be switched off at the touch of a button. So they brought this system in Thailand, and suddenly, like simultaneously, over 3 million people had their bank accounts shut down. Thailand has become a case study for the use of biometric data in every facet of life. Every banking transaction is monitored and scrutinised. Any perceived discrepancy is flagged as fraud and punished without due process. Regulations have overwhelmed the system, resulting in a full-fledged banking crisis. Over 3 million Thai bank accounts were frozen instantaneously without warning as a result of government overreach. Transaction denied. You contact your bank to see why the payment failed, only to learn that your account has been frozen. All of your accounts, for that matter. The bank is investigating you for suspicious activity and potential money laundering or fraud. There was no warning, call or letter, and there is no clarification as to what transaction was flagged. You're completely locked out of your accounts, you have lost the ability to purchase, you cannot fill your gas tank, you cannot purchase groceries, you've been completely removed from the financial system, and you do not know when or if you will regain access to your funds. This is the reality for millions of people banking in Thailand. That's crazy stuff, folks, and this freaked the entire country out. But the article goes on to say thousands of accounts are frozen each week. Panic has ensued. Retailers are no longer accepting cards, demanding payment in cash, as they too are worried that they will be removed from the banking system. Confidence in the government and the entire banking system evaporated. People rationally fear that their account will be targeted next without warning. Government overreach has backfired, and the people are removing themselves from the banking system entirely. And that's a really good thing to see, folks.
Mm. Yep.
So,
yes, I know Max has some controversial ideas in that, guys, but guess what? It's we're after the information, all right? And that's a really good rundown of Thailand and what they're going to, and this is what they're going to do here. You know, you just think about it, guys. You know, whether you go into this digital ID or not, if you are one of us, someone who speaks up and says what they want to say and has stood up for something, and you decide, oh, I'll get the digital ID so I can keep life going, you're the first one they're going to fucking freeze.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's a no-win situation. Draw your line in the sand. Get to the governors, all right, and stop this shit.
Well, that's it. Now, I wanted to do a bit of a thing on usury as well, because actually, as Christians, it's been outlawed for. It was outlawed prior in years gone by and prior throughout Europe, because what would happen? Well, actually, I'll bring this on. What are we at yet? I can bring that
usury is called usury. Usury is illegal. So in Christian nations, lending money for an interest rate was illegal. So because it was illegal for the Christians, who did the lending? The Jews. So there was Christians who could lend for 0% or didn't lend at all. And then these people called the Jews would come over and start lending money. They would start charging money. And in a couple generations, guess what would happen to the economy? The Jews owned everything. And then guess what the king did? Rounded them up and threw them out of the country. Then they go to the next country, and what would they do? Same thing. And what would that king do? Round them up, kick them out of the country. This went on for thousands of years. This is why the Jews in history have had no country. Because the king would have, they would say no usury, no money lending, and they would start the money lending, they would start the central.
So you have that, but it actually ties into modern times as well. And Brett Pike has done a pretty good breakdown of it. If I can just basically lay my hands on it here, with regards to the 1913.
Almost downplay the fact that Britain was in $183 million of bank debt
before the American Revolution. That the Sugar Act, the Stamp Act, the Tea Act were all just the king's reaction to being in debt to the banks. That whether it's the American Revolution, World War I, World War II, or whatever war they're trying to sell us today, that banks and finance have a massive incentive to promote war. Or as the old saying goes, give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who writes its laws. And King George had to pay back $183 million to the Bank of England and banks in the Netherlands. And they tried to make the American colonists pay for that debt. And if you read the historical writings of early American history, the founding fathers were very concerned about debt, which was a concern that ultimately came to a head with Andrew Jackson and the bank wars. And America was successful in pushing back against central banking until 1913 and the Federal Reserve Act. And we have been falling deeper and deeper and deeper into debt ever since then.
Now, what's interesting about that is this weekend, Pope Leo, he has actually come out and he has said the phenomenon of usury evokes a theme of corruption in the human heart. Now, he goes on to actually say that it yokes people and it induces slavery, which it actually does. The system that we are under is currently slavery, but as we're told that we live in a free country, well, we don't, because we have to pay to do every damn thing, and now they want to pay us to breathe. So this is incredible. That's incredible. Now, for all of you Catholics out there, just so you know, Muslims do not pay usury. Jews do not pay usuries. I don't know about some Indians because usually they borrow amongst themselves. Okay, it's only us that pay usury, and it's actually forbidden. So if you've got a mortgage, you're actually not being moral before God, and it's not your fault. It's the system that was designed, so we accepted it, but it was a system that was corrupted. Now, this Pope has actually done the right thing. He's actually said this is inducing slavery, which it does. So it's like, look, we're just seeing some really incredible things, you know, apart from the fact that Caroline Levitt has come out and named all of the co-conspirators who were involved in the Russiagate. And then, of course, you've got this situation as well, just these last two things. So this is a U.S. Secret Service has just discovered a hunting stand in direct sight of where the President Trump exits Air Force One. So that's it there. I don't know if you can see it very well. Yeah. And that's the aerial view of it. Straight across the road, a tree there. So amazing.
Yeah, the movie thickens, the plot thickens.
It does.
It does indeed. All right, we're going to be taken out tonight by Freedom Monica. She has done a cut of the Sydney rally. And so, Franco, if you would like to have some final words, and Dave, if you would like to wrap up and close the show, that would be excellent.
Yeah, look, you know, one hiccup in the road doesn't mean it's the end of the road for us, you know, so we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to be a little bit more creative about it. So, you know, stay tuned to what Mondays and Maggies is going to bring in the future. But also, the 11/11, by all means, let's have a massive picnic on the lawns. Let's use that moment as well. And, you know, like I said, maybe it's Mondays at Maggie's, you know, or picnic day or picnic at Maggie's or whatever. We'll figure something out, you know, so stay tuned. Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
All right. Thanks, Frank. And just look, let's remember, guys, all right, again, this is like the COVID bullshit. This is a mandate, all right? It's an offer. It's an offer, okay? But you don't have to accept it, all right? You do accept it. I'm telling you, you're the first one they're coming at, guys. Yeah. All right? Believe me. All right, we're not wrong here too often, but I can tell you, the moment you freedom fighters want to step into the ring and sign into their digital ID, you are gone, man. The push of a button. You've seen it when we were down in Canberra. They froze me. They froze Bosie. They froze someone, O'Neill's, you know. They just went for it, guys, all right?
Yeah.
And they can do it, all right? And they will. Okay, so just think about it. You think that you're going to, you know, buckle over and I won't tell anyone, I'll just in the background, you know, like, nah, because you'll be the first one they'll go, guys. I'm telling you. So think about it, all right? Let's get our shit together, guys, all right? As I said, the weekend proved that people are willing to come together, all right? And they're also willing to say, and with their actions, right, what they want and what they don't want. And you can work it out from there. Good night, people. Love yous.
Baby, it's kinda crazy how else to phrase it. With you I've lost my senses, baby. What happened to you? I thought I knew you, but now it's time to face it. You're high and cold, high and you're low, messing with my mind. No, it's not how it goes, so let me spell it out.